Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Hey guys, fish and chips time. The best fish and chips in London. Best of the best. I'm a big fan. In New England, fish and chips are a pretty big thing over here, and I've eaten them my whole life, and they've been a favorite my whole life. Let's do it. Oh, the middle one, or the left, the one right to the right of the left. Okay, I won't pause too much. Okay, but I have to admit, something about the paper cone cups carrying the fish and chips just makes it look even tastier.
Hey guys, it's June.
And it's Harry.
And today we're going around 5 of London's best fish and chip shops to find
Nice.
the best fish and chips in London.
So what makes great fish and chips? We're going to be
Fish.
judging ours on 5 criteria. The fish itself, we want flaky batter. We want crispy batter that snaps when you bite into it. And the fish, we want to be really flaky inside and have just really nice flavor.
Hard,
The
right?
chips, we want nice and crispy on the outside, fluffy on the inside, and well seasoned with salt and vinegar.
Okay, I'm not saying that a good chip isn't a good fry. Chip isn't important. But the star of the show is the fish, so that's
And then also we're going to look at price as well. Are there any tourist trap spots that are going to rip you off?
So it's 7:30 in the morning and we are starting our journey at Billingsgate Market. This place is a proper old East End institution. It's the biggest fish market in the UK, so lots of things to check out inside, including the Billingsgate Cafe where we start our journey.
So I don't know about you, Ju, but I'm ready to eat some fish and chips.
Yes,
Let's
let's
go.
go.
I've been working down in the fish market since '97. We cook fish, we do breakfast, we basically cater for the market. It's a tradition, a lot of people come down here to get fresh fish, don't they? A lot of people come here as well for the haddock, where the poached haddock and the poached eggs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ju, visual.
so. I can't believe I'm saying this, but the fries could be a bit longer. I think that this takes up too much of the dish over here, and the fish should be a main thing rather than like a side. Like, it just seems like the fish is like one extra part of this. It should be fish and chips, you know, like a bit. Okay?
Visually, talk to me about your first impressions of this fish.
Well, this
What
is
do I know?
literally the biggest plate of fish and chips I think I've ever had. It's come in almost just like this wonderful circular display, which I'm absolutely loving. There's a lot of salad and red onion, some coleslaw on the plate. The overbearing thing on this plate though is like this huge wad of chips here.
So the fish, a little bit unusual in a couple of ways. Firstly, it's sea bass, which is not the average fish that tends to get
different.
served in London's fish and chip shops. You're usually looking at more sort of cod or like a flaky fish like that. Also, they don't batter the fish here, which I'm actually slightly disappointed in because they just dredge it in flour and then fry it. And you don't get quite the same level of crisp with just a flour dredge as opposed to batter. But, you know, I'm willing to be convinced, and hopefully the fish inside is going to taste really good.
Chip chips.
Guys, just let me close the thing here real quick. Okay, sorry.
It's a really good chip.
It's a good chip.
It's a good chip.
It's not greasy. It's just that you can basically taste the oil rather than an overwhelming potato taste. But it's nice. It's really light. I feel like getting through that would be quite easy.
Very easy. Particularly given how wide the surface area is on these flatter chips. They have actually got the inside quite nice and fluffy, which is good, and that's one of our criteria that we're looking for. Again, just on paper and just structurally, I'm still not sure about if it's a fish and chip shop chip, but it tastes good. It's okay. I think we need to try the fish.
We do need to try the
I'm
fish.
gonna grab my fork.
Oh.
Hold on. That looks pretty good. She likes it.
The taste of the actual fish inside of what's extremely light floury batter is unbelievably good.
That's really good fish. It's flaky, which is, again, one of our criteria that we're looking for. Just kind of almost like falls apart and melts in your mouth. Really well seasoned.
This is it's just really lovely quality fish. I think you can just taste the freshness. Like it hasn't travelled, from miles across London. It's just come like straight here in the morning. Probably arrived here at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and then we're eating it at like 7, 8 o'clock. So this costs £10, which is roughly about $13. I feel like this is a good.
That's not bad.
Filling fish breakfast, which is not a sentence that I've said before, but good value for money. It's cheap as chips.
Aha! He's great.
Next, we travel to the Golden Chippy in southeast London, which is the #1 ranked fish and chip shop on TripAdvisor. We're going to check it out and see if it lives up to its reviews.
Big expectation?
Name is Chris. I'm from Cyprus. I came here when I was 17 years old. I was hoping to become a surgeon of the humans. I ended up being surgeon of the fish. Golden Chippy have been open for 15 years. I started it from scratch, but these hens been playing with fish for 42 years now. With the secret recipe of the batter, cooked at the right temperature, sitting there for 1 or 2 minutes to drain properly.
That batter
Gives it
looks
that
tasty.
Fantastic crispy finish, which is very light butter, very tasty fish, and not greasy at all.
Okay. Is that a guacamole or something?
So we've got this absolutely massive plate of cod and chips
That,
here,
like that,
with a nice load of mushy peas at the side.
I just want to say, that, like, when I think of fish and chips fish, like, that's what it looks like. That looks beautiful.
And some salad.
So just looking at this, I am super excited to tuck in. The batter is like visibly crispy, and the chips as well. These are like proper chip shop chips. We've got that thickness on all sides.
What is
nice
that?
and golden brown on the outside. I'm hoping nice and light and fluffy on the inside, but we're going to find out. Cheers.
Okay, cheers. This is like so unbelievably smooth and just like a really, really nice sort of like fish blow texture. This is absolutely melting in my mouth.
This is worthy of the first oh my cod of the day.
No, oh, you stole my pun!
Got him
You
with the
stole
pun
my
first.
pun.
I gotta say, good idea. This is not I guess I'm a rookie. I don't know why. Like, whenever I go to get fish and chips and the tartar sauce, which is a must, it's strange. I'm not a fan of mayonnaise or a huge fan of relish, but put them together and tartar sauce, and all of a sudden I love it. But I would always end up with a tartar sauce fish mixture at the end, because I would always try and dip, but obviously he's doing the right thing, taking the tartar sauce and spreading it.
Oh, Haddock, you've got some of your own puns, Harry.
Or maybe even like a pre-tartar
The
dip
batter
with
is
the...
extremely crispy. It's lives up to how it looks, and you really get that nice texture of the contrast of textures between the crisp of the batter and the flaky, soft melt in the mouth fish is really, really good. So we saw them preparing these chips from scratch out the back, which is great because you know they're not just buying in a frozen thing. This is like a freshly made, freshly peeled potato.
Taste potato, which is always good for chippy chips. Like normally with chippy chips, it might be a little bit too greasy, but this is just, I mean, the taste of the potato inside, it's obviously coming through.
Also, they fry it in just the same oil as the fish, so I'm getting like almost a little fishy taste from it. It's like the
I
whole.
love fishy taste.
Yeah.
Next,
That was
we
quite
head up
good.
to our third stop, Hook, in North London.
That's a cool name.
We wanted to do something different to the traditional fish and chips dish by adding tempura and panko and flavouring them and doing a more new school take.
We predominantly use tempura batter because it allows us to be consistently creative and infuse different flavours with our fresh fish. So we are bringing a new school kind of vibe to fish and chips, something that's cool and quite exciting.
Okay. Open mind. You're messing with something good, which isn't. But hey, open mind. Okay. I mean, that looks quite good. if it doesn't look like a traditional fish and chip, it still looks
So we're
amazing.
at our third location. This is Hook in Camden, and we've just been given some garlic truffle mayo, some seaweed salted chips, nice little wodge of lemon, and this lovely piece of sea bream with basil and lemon tempura. It smells amazing. It's just arrived at our table.
The chips are interesting. They're kind of like a cross between chips and potato wedges because they're really thin, but they've still got the skin on the fries. Not the sort of conventional fish and chip shop fry, but I'm hoping that this garlic mayo is going to kick it up a gear.
It's really lemony. Like you can really taste the lemon coming through.
I had a ham sandwich earlier, but I'm already starving again, and I want that.
And the tempura is like extremely thin. It's very like light crisp to it, but I think that there's such moisture in the fish that that's really the overwhelming texture that comes through.
The fish is it's like butter. It really kind of just dissolves in your mouth almost, and has like quite a lot of richness to it. I think the bream in comparison to maybe the cod that we've had earlier, the taste of the fish is really good. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of don't miss tartar sauce now. I think this is a really lovely like buttery taste to go with the buttery texture of the fish.
I think that's the key. It's so buttery. It's really rich. It's almost like a garlic butter.
Yeah, the garlic butter with the really buttery fish, and then these are actually lighter than they look. Like, so they look like it's quite like a thick like texture to that, but it's not. I think that like for the quality of the texture and like the size of the portion, like this seems very reasonable. Also, we're in a slightly more like upmarket, like nice restaurant rather than being somewhere that can effectively like wrap your chips up in a piece of newspaper and casually give it to you. Like this is more of a fine dining experience, which I expect to pay a little bit more for.
And also this whole sustainability approach which they've taken is really great. And obviously you end up paying a little bit more for that, but
How much?
worthwhile because the end product is really good.
Did I miss the price? Wait, I missed the price. What was the price?
Support restaurant casual.
And also a little bit more.
Like for the quality of the texture and like the like nice restaurant rather than being somewhere that it's the lighter.
Okay,
It's
we're
really
moving
great.
on.
Now we move on to our next stop, which is Poppy's in central London. Now Poppy's has 3 locations in
Sorry, so this is more likely where you'd be if like where I'd be if I was like a tourist, right?
central London. Now Poppy's has 3 locations in central London. It's got a little bit of a reputation for being touristy, but it's not all bad.
It's actually got quite a nice history behind it. It was started in 1952 by Pops, who started it as a teenager, wrapping up fish and chips in copies of newspaper. So like feeling a little bit of a traditional vibe here, but obviously because it is a chain, will that affect the quality?
13. I think that the fact that it's a big plate makes it seem like it's a bit less food. So, $8.27. Okay. No, $13.95. Yeah, that's a.
So this is a regular size cod at Poppy's. You see we've got an absolutely massive amount of chips and quite like a achievable size cod, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, we're reaching the point in the day where I'm already getting quite full, so it's nice to see that the cod isn't too ridiculous. But
This is like quite light, like quite kind of skimpy chips, I would say, like they're chippy.
You can't take that into it though. I mean, you have to go into it acting like you're like hungry. You know, the average person isn't gonna go around. And obviously that the price makes sense despite it seemingly the same or even lower than some of the portions of the other ones, but this is in a more touristy area where you're going to have people from other places like, oh, fish and chips, great, whatever, pay it.
Chips, but they don't look like kind of overly golden, like overly brown. And we were a little bit confused as to whether this was battered or breaded cod because it's such a like light and actually quite like bumpy texture to the batter that I mean it's battered cod, but I guess we'll find out what it's going to taste like. Oh, that's crunchy batter.
I would probably say the fish probably has the least taste of any ones that we've tried today.
Yeah, I know that all of their fish comes fresh each day from Billingsgate Market, so This is definitely like the same sort of supply fish that we've seen before. It's as light as well.
I don't know if it's the fact that I know that, like, I wonder how I'd be reacting if they didn't say it was a chain restaurant. Because just the fact that it's a chain restaurant makes me think they're gonna, like, just get, like, a regular, like, not even bread it themselves or something like that. And so I'm having a weird time gauging this.
There's just not as much of a fishiness to it, I would say.
Yeah, there's just not a lot of flavour coming through from there. Not in an unpleasant way, you know. The batter is good, it lets the batter shine a little bit. Yeah, let's give these chips a try. Yeah, these very much fit my idea of like a classic chippy chip. You do get maybe a little bit underdone compared to one of the ones that we've had today. You don't get quite as much crunch on the outside, but the inside you really do get a lovely potatoey, fried potatoey flavour, and it is nice and fluffy as well.
Yeah, very, very fluffy. And then in parts you can see a little bit of skin on. Like kind of like that roughness of them. Like that's a classic chippy chip. You're looking for a little bit of skin, a little tiny bit of crunch, but mostly it's all about just the quality of the potato inside. We move on to our final stop, fine dining seafood restaurant Body Gull.
Nice place. Ooh.
So what you're looking at now is Bonnie
I like that the tartar sauce is in a shell, an oyster shell, it looks like.
Gull's take on classic fish and chips. So what we have is a beer battered haddock, we have chips which are cooked in beef dripping, and we have a homemade tartar sauce and mushy peas as well. It looks incredible. Ju, what are your thoughts?
Well, it almost just looks like too good to eat. It's just like a work of art on a plate.
Yeah, it
It's
looks
just,
quite
I don't even
good.
know how they get the fish to stand up like that in the batter.
My saliva speaks for itself. It started running when I saw it. And so the mashed peas is like a classic fish and chips thing.
Very, very mesmerising. I'm actually really looking forward to trying this.
Look at that snap. Oh, wow.
Really buttery, really melt in mouth texture on the inside. But just the batter is just, I could just eat the batter. Just have a snack pocket of that batter and just snack on it all day long. You know it's good when the chip also has a crunch sound.
A little bit.
Right.
It's really fluffy on the inside.
You know it's good when the chip also has a crunch sound.
Jesus!
A little bit. That was really fluffy on the inside. Yeah, I think that gives it more of like a, like you say, a roast potato vibe that you'd expect with like a roast dinner.
Everything on this plate is like encased in something wonderful. So like the fish is encased in this amazing batter, the potatoes are encased in this really, really great crispiness. It's almost like little joys hidden inside joys.
What's the price gonna be? It doesn't really matter. Like when it gets to the point where you can tell that like it's just such a good, it just, everything just looks so good. My mouth is watering right now, and that's been kind of the judge. So up until then, number 2, the second one they went to was like that was it. Up until now. And man, so despite what the price, even if that's pricier, I think you got to go with that one. So that one.
So here we are. We've had our 5 fish and chips. We've had some time to.
Let me just say, I would go number 1 on the right, all the way to the right. Number 2, second from the left. Number 3, third from the left. Number 4, all the way to the left. Number 5, the chain one. But not to say that they all wouldn't be good.
We've had our 5 fish and chips. We've had some time to think about what our favourite was, and now we're outside.
And I
Tower
couldn't
Bridge in
taste
London,
anything,
and we're ready to
obviously.
give you our answer.
So
It's time
my
to reveal our
opinion means
favourite. Should
nothing.
we go on 3?
On 3.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Body Gull.
Golden chippy.
Oh,
we've disagreed.
Okay. Yeah, we can't actually decide on one together then. Why did you pick Golden Chippy?
For me, golden chippy took the crown because it was just like the quintessential chip shop experience.
Yeah.
In terms of the food,
Okay.
where you get that flaky fish, crispy batter, chunky chips. And for me, yeah, it was just classic fish and chips.
Okay.
I see.
I was gonna say, like, come on, dude. Did you see? And I didn't taste anything. I know, and so my opinion isn't that weighty. But he explained his reasoning very well. And okay, but man, that last one, it did seem just like a classic, no like upscale experience, no bad experience, just like a fish and chip shop. So yeah.
point. I picked Bonnie Gull because the quality and standard of the food that we saw that day was like so much better than everything else that we tasted. I just thought the batter was perfect and the size of those chips, like who couldn't love them?
So, as hard as this is going to be, we weren't here to pick the best two, we were here to pick the best fish and chips in London. Can I convince you to come over to the side of Golden Chippy?
I'm not mad with either.
Okay, I can be convinced to go over to Golden Chippy only because I think that as a fish and chips, proper English fish and chips experience, it gives you that in a way that fine dining at Bonnie Gull doesn't. So I think in terms of like all-round food plus the proper authentic experience, okay, I'm gonna go for Golden Chippy.
I thought I was gonna get mad if they moved away from Bonnie Gull, but that's okay.
I can move-
He had a good argument.
Over to Golden Chippy, but Bonnie Gull was delicious.
That was fun. I like that a lot. Yeah. That. Where am I? That was cool. That was awesome. Quintessential. Food Insider. That looked so good. And that last one, my God, something like it wasn't even my mind really thinking it. I just like listened to my salivary glands that were just so happy. That sounds so weird. But just, I was like, wow, that's pretty good. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm hungry. But the reasoning at the end, I liked it. Really cool. Hope you're all doing well. Hope I didn't sound too, I don't know, me-ish. See you guys next time. Bye.